Bob Iger's agenda has been exposed. Welcome back to Views with Hughes, different news. This is Jerome Hughes. Today's top story. Bob Iger's agenda has been exposed via X from Christopher Rufo. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Also, be sure to include any additional thoughts in this, so that way you be notified. And be sure to go ahead and click the subscribe button and click the bell notifications, so that way you'll be notified of future uploads and updates. So as I said, Christopher Rufo shared on X, which is formerly known as Twitter, that Bob Iger has had an agenda that he's been having for a while. And I'm pretty sure this video has been out there, or I could be wrong, but he did go into detail about what he wanted, as well as what he wanted for Chapek and everything. So let's go ahead and get right into this video, shall we?
Well, I mean, Bob has talked about this eloquently since he's become CEO. I'll say a couple of things about it. We've tended to shy away from politics. And in doing so, I think we've shied away from talking about issues that aren't political at all, like the issues that we're talking about today. Because we believe in doing so, maybe it looks like we're taking a stand. Well, in that reality, we should be taking a stand. By the way, I take responsibility for this. I was CEO for 15 years. And so I manage the company's public-facing processes and how we were portraying ourselves. And I think that we have to be less cautious, as Bob, I think, was just alluding to, about such things, and not be concerned, like just commenting about what happened in Washington last week. That's not political on our part at all. We know that what we saw was fundamentally wrong, and that it was rooted in hatred and disrespect and contempt and intolerance. And we should feel free as a company to comment about that without retribution. And another thing I want to say that I've learned these last 9 to 12 months is, I'm very proud of a lot of the work we've done in terms of diversity and inclusion on screen. When we did Coco, for instance, at Pixar, a great example of that, or Tiana, or of course, Black Panther is one of the great examples of that. I allowed those things to make me feel a bit complacent in a sense. It's not that I wanted to be that way, but I thought, wow, we did Black Panther. How great are we? And it caused me to not focus as much as I should have on the culture of the company and the environment and in the voices that were telling those stories, as opposed to just how they were being portrayed on the screen.
Well, that's pretty interesting, and I just thought about something. This is not going to be a good look for him when it comes to the whole shareholder vote, okay? Because now this may have more shareholders to go ahead and just vote for Nelson Peltz as well as his nominees for the board, since this video has been leaked. Okay, now we all know that basically in recent times, Bob Iger, as well as the Disney company, has encountered its fair share of setbacks thanks to the decisions made by Bob Iger. Now, whether it be underperforming releases on Disney Plus, box office disappointments, or various public relations mishaps stemming from what many actually believe to see it as the company's push towards the ideological content, the spotlight often falls on company's leadership. In other words, lack of management, lack of creativity. This is where Bob Iger comes in. Now, Bob Iger, who's the CEO of Disney, seems to have a pattern of deflecting blame onto other people for those challenges rather than taking accountability for himself. Most notably pointing fingers at his predecessor, Bob Chapek, the man who Iger had actually handed the reins of the company before making a dramatic return with promises of, making corrections and salvaging Disney's fortunes. But despite his intentions, Iger's tenure has actually been far from the rescue mission he actually said he was going to try to make. Now, not too long ago, and from the video that I just showed you, he spoke out about the necessity for Disney to quiet the noise on culture wars. Well, not from the on video, but a previous interview with the New York Times and everything. The same one where Elon Musk had told Bob Iger to go F himself. He was, he stated that he's going to quiet the noise in the culture wars, highlighting the importance of the company maintaining a neutral stance politically. In other words, to be apolitical. Now, this came in the wake of significant backlash during Bob Chapek's time as CEO, particularly concerning Disney's opposition to the legislation in Florida, which led to a highly publicized conflict with the state's government, a battle which Disney actually lost big time. It's also interesting to see Iger's critique of Disney becoming too political under Bob Chapek's watch, especially with the revelations that suggest Iger himself may not have been as passive as he claims. Now, from the video that I just showed, which was shared and unearthed by Christopher Rufo, which was shared on X, showcased Bob Iger back in 2021 in January, while he was still Disney's chairman, voicing his commitment to political engagement following the events of January 6th. Now, in that video, Iger didn't only discuss taking a political stance, but also praised his own role in promoting diversity and inclusion in projects like Black Panther. Now, I've shared this before, obviously. I've also reported on this too, where he actually go ahead and takes credit for the box office success that was done under Disney, as well as movies like Avatar that was not done by Disney, okay? It was released through Disney, but it was actually made by James Cameron, okay? Bob Iger didn't approve of it. That was actually made long before, Bob Iger actually took the reins of Avatar and 20th Century Fox, okay? And with that being said, Bob Iger, whenever something goes wrong, he actually go ahead and deflect the blame. Now, the footage in the video that I just showed is really telling. It contradicts the narrative that Iger tried to distance himself from, revealing that he was, in fact, at the helm when many of these contentious decisions were made. Now, we all knew this because I shared this for over 2 years now myself. It sheds light on Disney's internal stance on political matters, which Iger at one point implying that commenting on significant political events such as what happened on January 6th was a moral obligation for the company, not a political action. He see this as apolitical, but it was actually a moral way of defending, having taken on a stance with what happened on January 6th. And this perspective is interesting as it suggests a belief in which Disney's internal leadership that the company has a duty to shape societal views regardless of potential for such stances to try to alienate parts of the audience, the core audience that's actually left by now. So this revelation is crucial because it demonstrates the enduring influence of Iger's ideology on Disney's direction. Now, despite the blaming Chapek, it's actually clear that Iger himself was the driving force behind Disney's political and ideological ventures, as we've known, while Chapek was playing a role in these developments, bending to the pressures and in line with the agendas Iger had actually set forth. The foundational decisions and directions all trace back to Iger, which we've already known. It's just that the video actually confirms it. Now, understanding this context raises question about the possibility of change within Disney. Now, if Iger's influence remains strong and his vision continues to guide the company's ethos or logic or ethics, we can expect can we actually expect any changes to or shift away from the ideological path that Disney has been going? No. I don't believe so. Now, this scenario actually underscores a broader dialogue about the role of entertainment giants in political and cultural discussions and whether companies like Disney should continue with their influence to try to champion these specific ideologies. Now, we're going to have to consider these developments, and as we do so, it's also worth thinking about the future of Disney under Iger's leadership. Will the company actually recalibrate its approach to content and public engagement, or will it continue with its current course, which is putting out their woke ideology, making ideological commitments a priority over a broader audience appeal, which is to entertain and make it more family centric? Only time will tell, but I'll be honest with you all, I don't believe that he's actually going to stay away from this, because of the simple fact that he's the one that's running the show. Okay. We also have an upcoming vote, I think in the upcoming April, for the shareholders have to vote for the people to remain on the board as well, or to choose Nelson Peltz as well as his nominees and everything, because this isn't really looking good for the company itself. All right. Bob Iger doesn't necessarily care because he has like several different investment firms backing him. Okay. They've been backing him when he put out the woke ideology and everything. And guess what? It's like they've been losing money and they haven't making a return on investments. I don't even think that they care that they go broke. You know, so let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Also, be sure to include any additional thoughts about this in the comments below. If you enjoy what I shared in this video, go ahead, smash the like button, and share far wide across social media. And if you haven't done so, you already went on it, and you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, click the bell notification, so that way you'll be notified of future uploads and updates. Until then, peace.